Diamond wrist strip, slip through the pitfalls. I just wanna chill with the big dogs. House on the hill with a big dog. Make it a ride, I'm taking a lot. So it's about time that I get what I got. And it's about time that I get what I need. And yes, I'm needy, I need to succeed. You know what I need it all. So I don't live with my back to the wall. Don't have to answer whenever you call. Who that on the line? It don't matter, dog. Oh, not at all. Oh, what a gift. Just to be rich and not giving a shit. Just to be rich and not giving a shit. Pinky up, I'm gonna take me a sip.
I need the cash. Money sounds on every bag. Green in the eye of each lad. Pockets so fat like I'm smuggling packs. I only deal with my time in these maps. Role playing the tactician and craft. Art of success, if I dub it, is that. As dinners and fat guarantee for a hunter. A winner I see in the mirror who trumping. I need my anthem to blare with some trumpets. Mama's fair for repair and she also consistently stable and nothing could offset me. A boss type beat, lead the starship, stream through outer space. I'm a star, baby boo, better watch the race. And you'll see me live today and die trying to just don't break. Except all the bread we make with 2 hands. Better get your ball together and stretch bands. Do it all for as long as you can. Get your sandwich ready and go hand. The baloney niggas just can't comprehend.
Yo, cash rules everything around me. In that I am drowning, cause I don't know accounting. Blame it on my school system, blame it on my county. In that I am drowning, blame it on my clowning. Blame it on my young and my dumb, and not knowing where it's from, and not knowing where it's going. Might as well throw it in the ocean. As I put my back in motion, might as well throw it on some drinks. Hit a Miami for 2 weeks, might as well throw it on the beach. I don't give a fuck about the economy. They ain't never helping those in poverty. They ain't never coming here to save you. Waiting on that trickle down in your rain boots. You the blood, sweat, and tears of this whole operation, though. You will make it operational, but don't deserve paid vacation, though. I don't know what I look like. Woo with a fool, I'm losing my cool. I need to make moves, get my community under a groove. Like one nation, so we never lose. Nothing can stop us now. They will not knock us down. We will not chill while they chop us down. That is not simply allowed. I'm not the one to kowtow. Cash rules everything around me. In that I am drowning, cause I don't know accounting. Blame it on my school system, blame it on my county. In that I am drowning, blame it on my clowning. Blame it on my young and my dumb, and not knowing where it's from, and not knowing where it's going. Might as well throw it in the ocean. I put my back in motion, might as well throw it on some drinks. Hit a Miami for 2 weeks, might as well throw it on the beach. Oh yeah. She love to back it up when we hit the club. She love to show me love. Oh yeah. She love to back it up when we hit the club. She love to show me love. Oh yeah.
Baby girl, hold up, hold it right there. 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 Baby girl, hold up, hold it right there.
I would like to be traded to any other team but the New England Patriots.
Big brain predictions. That's what I got.
Take it off, sir.
The Washington football team beat the Steelers.
Right.
And that person.
EDP.
Yes, but if we lose this game, I firmly believe we do not need to make playoffs. So
Don't you ever disrespect
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. I am your co-host, Chandler Brown, and this is After Further Review, episode 78. switched up on you guys real quick.
Different order. I'm your other wonderful co-host, Shaquille Brown.
And I'm your other favorite co-host, Sleepless in Seattle without Russell Wilson, because he went to Denver, Malin. How's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
Doing great. We are going to open up our show with the best way to intro a show, which is, of course, a shot amongst the homies.
Oh, you damn right.
Cheers.
You guys
Shaq.
drinking
Cheers to
tonight?
Malin. We are drinking Malin's favorite liquor, Espolón tequila.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Well,
Wonderful times.
the weight on my back just got a little bit heavier. You know why, Jalen?
Why's that?
I'm gonna have to carry this show the second half because you asses don't handle tequila well.
If you're a regular of this show, you know exactly what Malin's talking about.
There's a reason I feel like this is like the third time only ever in 70-something episodes. I think we hit like tequila.
No. Okay. Jack must forget about the 4 weeks straight that you guys did it before he busted out the Callan 18, but that's fine. Tequila makes, short-term memory loss. That happens with tequila. So how's everybody doing?
That's how bad it is. Shaq doesn't even recall it.
It's probably for the best that I don't recall it anyway.
Malin, what are you smoking and drinking tonight?
Well, I got one of my father's cigars in Maduro. It's one of my favorites. Got the Torpedo, and then I am just about been going on almost 8 or 9 weeks on this bottle of 1.75 liter Buffalo Trace. It's just about done. I think I got one more shot left in that bad boy.
Oh, so you'll probably finish that tonight then.
I mean, it depends on how the show goes. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
On that note, if you're not aware, you can listen to the show. We are on Spotify and Apple and all the other major podcast platforms. So if you're watching it, just click the first link down in the description below so you can be taken to your favorite podcast platform. And if you want to watch the show, vice versa, click the first link down in your podcast description below to be taken to the replay of our live stream. We do stream live every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So be sure to set your alarm, mark your calendar, or you can just subscribe to the channel. And then every time we go live, you'll be notified. And any other time other podcasts get uploaded to the channel, you will also be able to tune into those two right here on the Melheims Media channel. So be sure to subscribe. And if you're listening, leave us 5 stars because it helps boost up the ratings, folks.
Because that's what we deserve, 5 stars.
Yeah, what else you can
Why not? You got to give something, right?
Yeah.
Might as well be 5. Be a giver. I'm saying.
We have a little bit of breaking news to hit up. I don't even have a title for this because this happened so recently. But Bruce Arians just recently stepped down within like last hour and a half ish as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Todd Bowles stepping up into the head coaching position, so just taking his spot. And Bruce Arians landing in the front office now. So this was random, just completely out of left field. Malin, what do you think about this happening?
Well, listen, I got your headline title for this one. Want to know what it is? Fuck Tampa Bay. That's what it's called. Fuck Tampa Bay. Bruce Arians moves to the front office. I love it. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Anyways, so Arians is getting a front office position. They're calling it the senior football consultant. You know what that means? That is code for I'm going to make money for not doing anything. That's pretty much what that means. But listen, Todd Bowles, pretty good coach. 67 games, 6-41 record. Love it. I think it's a great pickup. Good hire. I think at the end of the day, I think the reports that we heard about maybe a rift between Tom Brady, Bruce Arians was actually real. That they weren't getting along, and that like Arians was glad that he was retiring. So apparently, that Twitter post that Bruce Arians put out there the night that Tom Brady said he was coming back, or was lighting a cigar on his boat, was a farewell cigar to his career because he knew that he wasn't going to coach again. As Tom Brady probably put his ass in a desk, is probably what happened. So I don't know. Your guys' thoughts on this?
Shaq can go first.
I mean, at the end of the day, whatever they discuss in their private rooms and think is best, go ahead and do it. Not that I'm okay with whatever decision. It's not my team, so they can.
That's very diplomatic of you to say.
Yes, because I feel like at the end of the day, we all kind of know who's really running the show in Tampa, and that is Tom Brady himself, Coach Brady.
Let me ask you this: do you think that they will have just as much success without BA being there?
Yes, because my thing about that is they go out. They might have some fluke things, but if it comes to the offensive scheme of things, Brady goes out there, coaches making up some bad calls. You know, Brady's going out there and be like, "Yeah, we're gonna cut all that out. I'm gonna go ahead and take over this offense and make my own moves and stuff like that." But
I don't know.
I feel like when you have a head coaching change, whoever comes in, they inject their personality into the team, their overall philosophy into the team. Now, it has worked out in some cases in the past, right? You know, the 90s Cowboys come to mind. Jimmy Johnson leaves, Barry Switzer comes in. A year after he's the head coach, they win a Super Bowl. But just to think that everything's going to go according to plan and that they're going to be just as good. Like, you just don't know how Todd Bowles' overall coaching philosophy is going to resonate in the entire locker room. Yeah. So, I mean, they've lost some talent. They re-signed some talent, but they still lost some talent. Now they don't have the man that was massaging all those egos, man that was making kind of everything click, you know. So I don't know. I do think that Bruce Arians is an underrated coach. He was responsible for Pittsburgh winning a couple Super Bowls as an offensive coordinator. He was the one that took Indianapolis to the playoffs with Andrew Luck when their coach had cancer. He was the one that took the Arizona Cardinals that were winning 4 games a year to a perennial playoff team with Carson Palmer for a few years. I remember him very vividly as a coach that you didn't want to mess around with because he had a bravado about him. And I think it kind of helped create that bravado within that organization. And Tom Brady was like the match that kind of lit everything up. But so I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a different feel for that organization going from an offensive-minded, let it fly, sling it type of, you know, let's take care of all the big name people, to a defensive-minded coach that had a tendency when he was with the Jets to kind of had his thumb on everything with the Jets and be a little bit of a hard nose. So I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see how it all works out with him and Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's Brady and Arians definitely seem to have this like fundamentally different approach to the offense. Like you saw it like when Brady first got there, and the first half of Tampa's season was just really rocky, and it seemed like because it was a lot of Bruce Arians' style of play, and it looked similar to when Winston was there, and it was like we're just gonna chuck the ball down the field constantly and just try and push. And then, you know, they kind of found a happy middle ground of Brady, like, let's reel it back and play a little more, I guess you'd say, conservatively. And then it seemed like that just kind of continued, and until it just seemed like it was more or less just Brady's offense. Maybe a little more push the ball down the field, no risk it, no biscuit. But it did seem like Brady was calling the shots, and you could see like over the past season or so that BA was kind of annoyed with how he has to coddle the star and just kind of play to just stay in Brady's good graces, and you're not really the star here. You have nothing to do with the huge success of us winning a Super Bowl.
And yeah, because I'm not sure that Bruce Arians was ever totally in love with the idea that he got next to no credit for winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
Even though him and that GM put that team together and that talent that lured Brady there. And like he did get overridden at times. There is a reason why AB showed up in Tampa even after Bruce Arians said he would never be there. So I kind of think that you're right about that he didn't like the fact that everybody outside of Brady got overshadowed that Super Bowl win. Brady was the only one that got credit. Now again, I don't like Tampa Bay. Fuck Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Bucks. I don't care. There could be an earthquake and swallow the stadium. I'd be fine. I wouldn't care. Like while they're playing a game, that'd be cool. Yeah, just the whole team. While they're wearing the creamsicle uniforms next year, just go ahead.
Save these
But-
comments. Very significant.
Okay.
sinkhole.
But I do think that there's a lot of other people that deserve credit for that Super Bowl win beyond Tom Brady. I mean, they were right on the brink, 7-9, with a quarterback known for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. So Tom Brady was a piece to that puzzle because he added stability at the most important position. You'd have to think that under Bruce Arians, if he had a quarterback before Tom Brady, was throwing less than 20 interceptions a game, probably making the playoffs and making a push.
Right.
So I do think he deserves a little bit more credit than what he gets for that Super Bowl win in Tampa. But I mean, hell, senior, what is it again? Senior football consultant. I don't even know what that means. What? He's not doing anything. He's just gonna walk around with a hat with a Buccaneer flag on it. Like that's all he's doing. That's not a. You're paying him off to step down because him and Tom Brady don't get along together. That's all they're doing. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, we shall see what happens. It just makes next season that much more interesting, and the drama continues in the soap opera known as the NFL. Moving on to the next topic of the week here, we are going to give our so far predictions for who we think is going to win the NBA MVP. So as we kind of come to the close of the regular season here, it's starting to shape up that there's 3-4 kind of finalists for the MVP candidates here. So out of all the performances you guys have seen this season, is there one person that you have kind of made up your mind, like, yeah, I think this person is going to win MVP? Not who do you want to win MVP, but who do you, based on how the season is going, who do you realistically think will win the MVP? Shaq, I'll start with you first.
I mean, I think for sure Joel Embiid should definitely win this MVP runnings as of right now. Very much a man who's carried his team, put up. I feel like basically helped carry his team to where they kind of are consistent for the most part for when he is truly there. And I firmly believe he deserves it. Another big man in there trying to make a move towards it. So, Mr. Embiid himself, because I feel like because he was one of the last few finalists too the year before, also.
Yeah, came down to him and Jokic.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the man, like back-to-back years, trying to make this push to get his MVP. So I feel like he should get it.
Balin?
I also got to go in Embiid. I think that LeBron's ankle tweak, having him miss games, towards the end of the year is kind of if LeBron did not tweak his ankle and if he wasn't missing games, I would probably have to go with LeBron because anybody that could take that Lakers team even into a play-in playoff game, you're the most valuable player in the league because that team is just god fucking awful. And LeBron is still probably going to win the scoring title. I get that. He's still probably, the most valuable player, but at this point he's going to miss too many games. And Embiid is played in 62 games. He's averaging 33.5 minutes a game. He's averaging 29 points a game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, he has kept Philly constant in a year that has been embroiled with the Simmons talk and the Simmons trade, and then Harden comes, and then Harden's not playing well, and yet even through all of it, they're still in the 4 seed, in the East, and so he has been that constant year in that organization to keep them relevant, keep them headstrong. Hopefully Harden can kind of, get his act together and they can play well together. But I think he's just been the most consistent player throughout the entire year. So I'm gonna have to go in and beat. My heart would say LeBron because the fact that they were even in the playoff scenario up until last night, and we'll talk about that later, is just remarkable. And it's because of the play that LeBron's had. But him being hurt and probably not going to play for another 3 games probably takes him out of it.
Yeah, we're all in agreement on this one. I think Embiid will end up winning it this year for all the reasons that you just mentioned. Before Harden got there, him just carrying the team, and then after Harden got there, it did not affect him at all. All the drama that has happened in Philly this year has been completely indifferent to Joel Embiid. LeBron, he definitely could have won it this year. He was right there for a while. And I firmly believe that if the Lakers could have finished as maybe the 6th seed-ish, just a solid playoff team, I feel like he would have gotten it almost hands down. Because he had a stretch this year where he was just unbelievable, but the Lakers were just still losing games, and it's unfortunately that just won't get you votes.
I believe that if he didn't get hurt and he played the rest of the regular season, they were the 8 or the 9 seed. I still think he gets MVP, LeBron James. I think that ankle injury is what cost him. He had better stats when he was playing. He's been healthy for most of the year. But keeping a Lakers team relevant in the playoffs to any degree, with the type of turmoil they had and the team that has underperformed the way it has, with the exception of LeBron James, getting that team to the playoffs would have been, I don't know, he won an MVP when he was in Miami, right? Getting the Lakers in the 8 seed, the 9 seed, would have been a better accomplishment than anything he did in the regular season. Any other team, even the Cavs teams in the 2000 to 2010s. The fact that they were even the 8 or 9 is remarkable. But we're not going to have to worry about the Lakers in the playoffs now.
Yeah, so we are all in agreement on that one. Joel Embiid for MVP. Now, moving into a segment that we haven't had in quite a while, and that is the L's of the League.
Straight trash, homie.
It's football. It was still on. All right, so this is where we just kind of recap some of the worst L's that were suffered throughout the last 7 days. And we're going to start off with the fact that the Grizzlies have just absolutely annihilated everybody in their path this past week. Milwaukee, Golden State, and Indianapolis lost to the Grizzlies by an average of 27 points. I think they won by, 25 one game, 30 another game, and then 20 something another game. Unbelievable. The Memphis Grizzlies are just on complete fire right now in beating good teams, bad teams, and just beating the brakes off them, like completely destroying everybody. What do you guys think about the Grizzlies right now?
Well, just a team trying to make their push, trying to let people know they still got fight, trying to move. So, yeah, give it to them. Very competitive team. So, that's my short answer on the Grizzlies.
Malin?
I don't know. I'm just at a point now to where the Grizzlies deserve the respect that they should get is like locking down the number 2 seed in the West. No John Morant, doesn't matter. I never knew who Desmond Bain was until like the last 5 games. This man just like he led the Grizzlies in scoring all 3 games against Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Golden State. All 3 good teams, right? 30 points, 12 of 15 against Indianapolis. 20 points, 9 of 19, and 22.7 to 15. That team has been balling. For someone by the name of Desmond Bain that I did not know they existed to be the leading scorer of that team during those 3 wins while they're averaging a margin of victory by 27 points means that they're playing great team basketball. And John Morant's still going to be out a couple weeks. I don't even think he's going to make the start of the playoffs. But if they keep playing the team basketball they're playing now, like God help the West when Morant does come back healthy. Like I don't know. I think that it's disgusting how well this team is playing ball without their biggest star. I think they've won 5 in a row without him. Insane.
Yeah. I want to say they've only lost like on the season without him. They've only lost like 2, maybe 3 games, and he's missed I think a little over 20 at this point. Like it's completely nuts that they're that good without their best player. And as young as they are, it's just crazy. A lot of, like Malin was saying, a lot of names that you probably don't really recognize. And they're just taking down everybody. So props to the Grizzlies. Cannot wait to see how they do in the playoffs this year, because that's going to be extremely interesting. I do remember seeing them in the, I don't remember if it was, I think it was the playoffs last year. They got through the play-in and came up against Utah in the first round, and actually gave them a small run for their money. And I remember thinking, like, there could be something here. I don't know if I see them doing this again next year, but there's something there in Memphis. And then here they come, just destroying everybody now. So,
I would love Memphis with Ja Morant to make a deep run in the playoffs. Just because I'm not the biggest Zion Williams fan.
Yeah.
And would just love for Zion Williams to miss the whole year, gain a bunch of weight, have a couple surgeries, while Ja Morant is just wrecking people. That's what I want to see. Damn, the Pelicans fuck that up. Lord.
Yeah, my God. Next one, Donovan Mitchell helped the Clippers last night by calling a timeout when the Jazz did not have any left in the last few seconds of the game, pulling old Chris Webber on the Jazz, and the Clippers went on to win that game. Sucks. It's one of those just blunders. Must have just completely slipped his mind, the fact that they were out of timeouts. What did you guys think about Spider Mitchell slipping up there?
You gotta love the game awareness sometimes. I guess it gets to you, pressure games, just losing track of what's really going on. And it's just unfortunate. Make yourself look kind of away, being a professional, trying to make a simple mistake of how many timeouts we got? But yeah.
Yeah. Malin.
Yeah, I mean, they were already down 115 to 119. It was likely that they weren't going to win the game.
Right.
Right. But when he tried to call a timeout, and then he was walking down the court, he had that look on his face like, the fuck I just do? Like, what did I... Not even what the fuck did I just do, just what the fuck I just do. Like, it just... In his mind, you see the look on his face, and he's like, God, mother... This is going on Sports Center. This is going on the worst top 10. And nobody likes to be on a worst top 10 at Sports Center. And like you said, you know, hey, listen, man, one of the famous people to do it was Chris Webber. I remember back in 93, being down 73 to 71. Chris Webber catches that rebound, goes the dribble up court. The man travels. The refs don't call it. He runs to the corner, calls the timeout that they don't have, loses the game. And I was like, damn, Fab Five just up there. Thanks, Weber. That was a crazy game. I remember. I think I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I remember my dad being like, "He doesn't have a timeout. What do you know?" I was like, "What do you mean they don't have a timeout, Dad?" And he was like, "He doesn't have a timeout." And I was like, "Oh shit, this game's over." And like that was famous. That was one of the few times I was allowed to cuss in front of my dad. Otherwise, he slapped shit in my face. But that was a crazy game with Weber. Now this one was not nearly as dramatic because it's in the regular season.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's not really going to matter with the playoff seeding or anything like that. I will just never forget the look on Mitchell's face when he's walking on the court. He has that look on his face like, God damn it, I did not want to be on the not top 10 on Sports Center. Like, damn it, this is stupid. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Speaking of the refs not catching something, he tried to call timeout, and at first the ref like ignored him because like he was aware that they were at a timeout. So it was like, okay, stop telling me that. I'm gonna have to penalize you for this.
I don't. He definitely saw it. He was just like, "You really want to do this, Mitchell? You really want to be on the Sports Center not top 10? This is what you? All right, man. You keep saying because you hear it in the video. He kept calling timeout. They say it in the broadcast. The broadcast announcer said, "We heard him yelling timeout several times, and he didn't have it."
Poor guy.
The ref even tried to help him. Ref tried to help him out.
It's like, rethink that decision,
Well,
boy. You got it.
Embarrassing. I'm just glad that my biggest fuck ups in life are not on like live TV.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, now I wish I was making that type of money to fuck up on live TV, but I'm glad that my biggest fuck ups are not on live TV.
Moving on to the next one here. The Kings lost to Shaq's Heat by 23 on Monday. And they actually just beat out our Celtics. By
I don't want to fucking hear that.
A close one here. Not a blowout there, America, but nonetheless.
I just want to say, when my Heat got blown out, that was the only thing we were talking about in a group chat. My Heat win, and we refused to talk about it, but it's okay.
Well, did you really
first
want
of all,
to lay on the praise?
you can calm down. Yeah, you can calm down with your little bandwagon ass over there, Shaq. I mean, first of all, the 4 games prior to playing the Kings got beat by Brooklyn, which everybody, up until the fact that Kyrie can start playing in Brooklyn, beats Brooklyn at home. They lost to the Knicks, 111 to 103. Knicks at home. It's the Knicks. Nickelbackers. So you lost to. It's cool. You lost to Golden State without Steph Curry. You know who's been beating Golden State lately? Everybody in the fucking NBA. That's who's been beating Golden State. Okay, you lost to them 118 to 104. So yeah, and then you lost to Philly. Philly. They started out 5-0. They've only won 3 out of the last 6 games. They're playing 500 ball. You lost to them. So then you beat Sacramento. Congratulations. Good win for the Heat. Hey, excited about it.
I know you were not expecting any praise from us when you guys blew out Sacramento.
Not even that. We did win tonight. Still not getting praise about that. And,
No.
and I would like to remind
No, well, listen. We're not talking about tonight's game. We're talking about the Kings lost 123-100. That's what we're talking about. Tonight's game be damn. Y'all were lucky. I don't know how y'all were lucky, but y'all were lucky.
I would like to remind the
When I
folks
say
at home-
y'all, I mean like the fans of actual Miami that have actually ever been to Miami. I don't know if you've ever been to Miami,
I
Shaq?
have been to Miami. Thank you.
Been to Miami?
Yes. I'd like to
40
remind-
days of your life have you been in Miami?
Now this man wants to give me clockwork and exact dates and times. I want
What's
the
that?
Seats.
I want
Man,
the avenues.
This man's a Miami Heat fan. And he's probably spent a weekend there. Right? Saying.
All right, like I like to remind y'all folks, we still sitting at number 1 spot as we live to climb me on the
my
show.
God, this damn number 1 spot. I'm praying for
You-
anybody come along and take his number 1 spot.
This man act like he kept the number 1 spot since the last time we were on this show. Y'all
Yeah.
lost it, got it back. It's fine. It's a tight race.
They are teetering because the
Yeah.
top of the East is a rat race right now. So
And I would like to tell everyone that even Shaq said in our group chat that, ever since he said they were the leaders in the East, they lost 4 in a row. So he knows what he does to people. So go ahead, praise your team, Shaq. You know what's going to happen. Y'all going to end up the 4 seed to come to playoff time now.
it'll be like the 48 hours before the playoffs start. Just drop.
And you know what? I still don't like that serial killer ass jersey that they
Yeah,
wear
They're wearing them tonight.
with the different fonts. Of course Boston lost to them. They're like, you know what? Listen, I don't want you to kill my wife and my kids. Calm down. We'll let you win the game. That's some Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy type of shit. Those jerseys. I don't know what the hell they're doing over there in Miami. They need to calm the hell down. Not in the Cuban Missile Crisis. I'm be happy.
Last on the L's of the week here. Oh man, the Los Angeles Lakers, of course, were gonna find their way into this segment, if none other. They did not have LeBron or Anthony Davis last night, but that did not stop Luka Doncic from dropping a nice hefty triple double on the Lakers, and the Mavs hanging 82 points on them in the first. I do want to just throw out that they were a point shy from breaking the franchise record, which was 83 points in a first half that the Lakers have given up in 1959. So that is as embarrassing as you could possibly imagine. What did you guys think about this game?
That team is a circus full of clowns that's on fire, and it's the most entertaining thing ever. They have one person with any sort of sense on that team, and that man is breaking his back. The fact that we talked about this man blowing out his ankle quarter 2 of a game, and then deciding, you know what? I'm gonna come back.
I can, it's not that bad.
Yes, you have this clown ass team trying to
My
people
God.
watch this game purely because it is just entertaining to watch for the wrong reasons. Let's see what Russ is gonna do this week.
The best part of that game was not even the game. It was the press conference afterwards.
Yeah.
Where a
yeah.
reporter asked Westbrook, "You guys need to change going into the last 5 or 6 games of the season." Westbrook got real combative. He was like, "Nothing." Like, well, wait a minute. Nothing is losing. That's what what you guys are doing. Ain't nothing. Russell Westbrook out there by himself. He's like, I ain't got LeBron, I ain't got Anthony Davis. I don't know who to. No, nothing. We good, man. You let somebody named Spencer Windiddle. First of all, how does somebody name
Dinwiddie to
by
you.
the name Spencer Dinwiddle? At 4 of 8 for 13 points.
Sounds like a Dr.
He was
Seuss
the
character.
third leading scorer on the team. Like you said, that man is in like Dr. Seuss books, chopping down Lorax trees. This motherfucker out here being the third leading scorer against the Lakers. And Russell Westbrook out there saying, we don't need to change nothing. We're fine. Motherfucker, you in the 10th seed now.
Oh my god.
You on the outside looking in.
And we are
And you
comfortable.
over there.
That
Dimwittle drinking champagne on your ass. Dimwittle.
If anything,
Dimwittle, Dim nothing, Spenny Whittle. What the fuck is he doing scoring against anybody in the NBA? God damn, that is a great name. When I saw that on the stat sheet, I was like, I need to call Den Whittle out. That man needs some press. Ain't no one else giving him press. I'm gonna sound fucking stupid saying his name, so I'll do it for him. Den Whittle, 13 points, 4 of 8 shooting.
I just love
Busted the Los Angeles Lakers. Fuck Luka Doncic and his 33 points.
I would like to call him by his actual name, Spencer Dinwiddie, but
Oh, Den Whittle. That's what I read. Den Whittle. Dinwiddie, Whittle, whatever.
But Whittle does play more into the Dr. Seuss narrative, and if it took some green eggs and ham to take down Russell Westbrook, then damn it, that's all it takes
No.
nowadays.
Russell's built like he eats.
I will say this. That is an I instead of an L in my notes. So you're right. Not Dim Whittle. Damn it. It's my chicken scratch.
This show is great.
Oh, we're gonna stick with
That
Dim-
makes-
we're gonna stick with
That
Dim
makes
Whittle,
me
though.
angry.
Yeah, we know.
That is a long that is one long ass I that I just wrote in my notes.
His,
right
won't- his
there.
name won't change.
I will say this. Dinwiddie is actually better. And none of y'all were going to talk about Spencer Dinwiddie unless I talked about him first.
That is
So-
true. That is very true.
Whittle some wood, get you some 13 points to beat the shit out of the Lakers. Get it, boy. Do it. I had a life of ridicule. He needs some fame.
Now that the Lakers, as of right now, are out of the playoffs, do you think it will out of the play-in? Do you think that will stay the same, or do you think they will at least be in the play-in?
I think that depends on whether or not LeBron comes back. If he comes back like in the next game or so, LeBron James in and of himself put that team back into the 9 seed.
Doesn't
good.
even want to come back. That's a true question.
Right.
Legitimately.
I can see him being
Oh
like,
well, no, because LeBron has legacy, right?
well,
Big hit to LeBron's legacy would be not making the playoffs when you have people like AD and Westbrook and all that stuff. Like, you get another notch in the belt when you make the playoffs again. You know what I mean?
So you think
Making the playoffs,
they
I
will
think,
make the
is
playoffs?
important to him. Well, it depends on if LeBron comes back. If he misses more than one more game, then no.
Here's my thing.
If he misses one game and comes back, I think they could make it into the 9.
I believe that too, and I believe if LeBron does come back, we are seeing a whole different version of LeBron. Also, LeBron is coming back. I feel like with a vengeance. Like, I refuse to give Russ the ball.
Oh.
It'll be me handling this rock, and I'm dropping 40 points plus every single game to the end of the season easily. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
LeBron will play 40 minutes and handle the ball for 36 minutes of it, drop 40, average a triple-double damn near for the rest of the year,
And still lose.
last 5-6 games, just to make the playoffs. Like, he will do anything he has to do. He'll bribe refs. I don't give a fuck. He'll do it. He does not want to miss the playoffs.
I don't see them making the playoffs this year. If he comes back, he can will them to a play-in, but I just can't see them making the playoffs with this current constructed roster that they have right now. They are awful.
but that's another thing we gotta talk about. Like, if you make it into the playoff game, is that considered making the playoffs?
If you make it to
No,
play-in
because you're not playing a series, right? Yeah, like if you make the play-in game, is that considered making the playoffs?
No.
'Cause it's just like with baseball. Like baseball now has with the wild card, they have 2 wild card teams and they play one game. Then whoever wins that game gets into a divisional round.
I see.
And like if my Mariners, who have not made the playoffs in 21 years, if they only went in as a wild card and ended up losing in a play-in game, I'd be like, nah, y'all motherfuckers didn't make the playoffs. Like, what are y'all doing? So I think the play-in game is weak. You actually have to make it. But I will say this. If you put LeBron James in a play-in game, is he losing? You think LeBron James in a play-in game is losing?
No.
I can still see it happening.
It depends how much control and power we're really giving LeBron in that process.
I mean, he can do it. Listen, he's had almost 82 games to do whatever the hell at this point.
What?
Here we are.
Yes, and look at how much work this man is really trying. How much more can we really ask LeBron at this point in the process?
Right. It's just,
Listen, I
he's
think
the-
that-
he's not the problem. That's the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
everybody else. is the
LeBron
problem.
James might Tanya Harding Russell Westbrook like she did Nancy Kerrigan just so that he can't play in that playing game. We might just whack the shit out of his knee in the tunnel.
Yes.
So you're not playing. Sit your ass down. Put the ice on your knee. And just
I feel like LeBron's the only reason.
I got a legacy on the line, motherfucker.
He's the only reason that they're even this close to even talking about some sort of play-in factor. And,
absolutely.
without this team would be like
Force in the West.
I feel like weeks ago we would have like thrown out the Lakers.
If it wasn't for LeBron James, the Lakers would beat the Sacramento Kings, which are like 27-49. Which the Heat were boasting that they beat the shit out of
just
last night.
Just move on. You have to
So-
bring it.
I do want to say this. If at the end of the season, almost regardless of what happens, like if they do get through the play and they make the playoffs, I feel like the day after the Lakers season officially ends, Frank Vogel is going to be fired. Whether it's the right move or not, I feel like he's gone. You're gonna get rid of him and probably a bunch of other people.
Listen, Vogel should be fired if they make it to a play-in game. Like before the play-in game, fire his ass.
I thought he was gonna be gone in the middle of the season.
Should have been. Because he's still the coach. Ain't done nothing.
Yeah.
What didn't he coach at Indiana before?
Yeah, when Hibbert and PG-13, George Hill.
And what did they do? Nothing. Playoffs. Best thing that Indiana squad is known for is Lance Stevenson blowing in LeBron James' ear. That's the only thing people remember about the Vogel experiment in Indiana. So what the hell is he doing coaching the Lakers? Most memorable moment you had as a head coach is one of your dumbass players blowing in LeBron James' ear? What are we doing? Is he the coach? Somebody.
11 seed actually for the Lakers.
Yeah, and it is also funny that if you remember when we did our mid-season power rankings and I had the Clippers ranked above the Lakers, you guys thought that was blasphemy.
Okay.
And now here we are.
We're going to talk about that later, Jalen.
Shit, I was trying to bring up 30 weeks ago. I feel like.
I'm just saying.
You know what sucks though is that you were able to lump me in Shaq or something. It's normally you and me, Jay.
I mean, there was only 2
That
categories. Unfortunately,
that was a bad take on my part. Bad take. Everybody's wrong every now and then.
Oh, we all predicted that. Like, I mean, I thought they were gonna do great, but we all knew they weren't gonna be the best version of what we dreamed of this team to be. A powerhouse team, a dream team, and then all of a sudden, AD plays a total of 6.5 games for the season.
What do you mean all of a sudden?
No, you
I never
say
thought they were going to
everybody.
be
Jalen was talking shit about the Lakers.
Okay, no, rest
The
of
moment
Ameri-
I've been on this show.
Rest of America on social media
was-
thought this was gonna be a
it
great
was-
team.
It was me and you, Shaq, driving the Lakers train in the beginning, and Jalen was like, "Nah, y'all stupid, man. Y'all need to jump off," and we didn't
You guys
didn't
went
until it was too late.
Right on down that
We didn't.
cliff.
Yep, we didn't do it until about January. Like, yep, Jalen was right. Team's terrible.
Watching old ass.
Around and found
LeBron.
out. Not LeBron's fault.
No, not him, but it's just like it's painful.
But Westbrook out there building houses for the homeless with the amount of bricks he's fucking laying out there in LA right now.
Charity work.
Man's a humanitarian at this point, not a basketball player. This is fucked up.
Not a homeless person
Dude.
left out there.
Doing the Lord's work on the court.
Laying bricks.
All right, folks. We're going to get to a break and we come back. Got some news. We've got What's Up With That. And then we've got our Ride or Die in 25. So we'll be back in 7.5 minutes.
Fun.
You do you. Ain't no need to think it through. It's flowing on through your body, flowing on through your veins. Don't drive yourself insane. You already know you hit to the game. Now live up to your name. Live up to your name.
I feel it with the fears in my head. Can't get it out of my mind. I hear what never was said. I feel the unknown with the fears in my head. They attach, they latch. I got a brand new batch. They don't lack, that's facts. No slack. Pimp tight, attached from the inside. They'll fuck up any kind of night. They'll fuck up any kind of vibe. Playing tricks with your mind. I cannot get it over.
We lost him.
How could you lose him?
He's got a lot of firepower.
What, and you don't?
I will how about this? Here's my bet. I will show up to the bar with the Juju jersey. If we win, I will give it to you and you have to wear the Juju jersey on the show next Wednesday if the Steelers win.
But Shaq cannot take the jersey off at any point during the game.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
On the whole game.
They bring 5. Smith goes sideline. It's caught by Nolan, who lost the football, and it's recovered by Sweet. Inbounds with the clock running and no timeouts. And they scramble to kill it. Down to 3 and 2. They line up with 1.
Yeah! Pretty freaking plain! I'm chucking this shit into Del Mabry. If you out by the way. How can you not see that there is 1 second on the clock? This is emotional. Boy, you better spike the shit out of this, Gino! Oh, what? What do you mean, wide left? There was... No, he thought we were friends! Man, you better fold that shit up! We ain't done yet! Come on! Get off the ball!
I respect your attitude here.
We'll be quiet.
No, it's great. You're laughing and having a good time.
He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
8 fans fell out of the stands as Jalen Hurts is walking into the tunnel. I will just preface this by saying all those people were just fine, no serious injuries. They were all right, but goddamn, that was funny to watch.
Fortunately, knowing how the Eagles fans are built, the last thing you should do is lean their body weight against anything.
First of all, you got to be a real diehard Eagles fan to be reaching out that far to get a high five from Jalen Hurts. Like I said, is only averaging 188 yards passing a game. Okay, I'm just saying.
Live chat here, TW1. I swear, y'all come out of fucking potholes like cockroaches. Steady Eagles haters. We aren't going to win the Super Bowl, but we might win the wild card.
What does
maybe.
What does that matter? What does that matter?
TW1, 50% of teams have a shot at winning the wild card. Maybe.
I swear to God, these Eagles fans just really be riding whatever wave they can catch. They're gonna catch a rip off a puddle that would rhyme it.
I love how we're not even talking about the Eagles right now.
Yes,
Where the fuck you even find this, bro?
He's like, we're talking about the other team in Pennsylvania, people.
First question. Who is currently leading the NFL in reception yards?
I'm going with Arizona.
I'm a player. Sorry, player.
Went with a
Larry.
team.
I'm going with Larry.
Larry who?
Fitzgerald.
Oh my God. No.
Currently.
He's not still in the Arizona Cardinals? Where's he at?
Cooper.
No.
Just drink.
Oh, okay. Which current quarterback that is actively playing has thrown the most interceptions so far this season?
Heineke.
No. Okay, no. It's Mahomes and Zach Wilson. Dang it.
Really?
Yes.
Drink. You deserve that L. Do it.
Your head coach, Ron Rivera, he won a Super Bowl in the 80s as a part of what team?
Fuck it, Michigan.
No.
Wait.
NFL.
The NFL, my guy. The NFL.
Oh. Oakland Raiders.
It was a good guess.
That's good. It was Washington, wasn't it?
It was the Bears, actually.
Oh, the Bears. Okay.
Which current running back, has the most yards at the first initial contact?
Jesus.
45 seconds. What was your
You were wiping your forehead. Don't worry about it.
What they got to do with me and my
Henry.
Does me wiping my forehead change time?
It does, because that's like a time zone.
Who was our quarterback at Washington or Redskins? He was the first black quarterback on the Washington football team.
Why are you asking me this? Oh my God. Jason Campbell.
No.
Hell
son
no.
of a bitch.
I was the first black
Get out
quarterback.
of here.
Nigga, he's black and he not.
He was the first black quarterback on the Washington football team. Or
Doug
Redskins.
Williams is just as black. Ryan knows he needs some water.
If Ryan makes you do the entirety of the show, give him a medal honor for it.
I mean, listen, hey, he thought that Fitzgerald was still playing, so.
Not just still playing, but had no.
At an all-pro level.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's it, AFR Sports. Now back to the show with your hosts Jalen, Shaquille, and Malin.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Second half of your favorite show. Hope you guys had a good break, because I know we sure did. Jack, how you feeling?
Good. Chill. I don't know if that's alcohol related, but chill, relax.
Malin, how you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. We got one more week till Major League Baseball comes back. Sport the Mariners hat. Be good this year. We'll see how it goes.
You got draft.
21 years of misery. Let's turn it around, people.
What are you saying, Shaq?
Say we got the draft not too far away, also.
Draft quickly
Yep.
approaching.
NFL draft will be in Las Vegas the week after I'm in Las Vegas, which in 2 weeks, people, be doing the show with me in Las Vegas with G Money.
Shout out G.
He's always live in the chat. That's gonna be a fun
sir.
week.
Malin, you have a trophy there. Would you like to hold it up and
You're right.
explain it to
I do have a
America?
trophy. So this trophy that I have is because if you don't know, I am a Starbucks manager. This is not my normal day job. They're not paying me a lot of money to do this, people.
You see money.
But yeah, I said money because I don't think any of us are here. But anyway, so my team was the fastest drive-through store in the state of Florida. So we won the trophy for this week. So I have it, and I take this trophy with me. We do a lot of fun things with it. My team is amazing. The people that I train up, they do an awesome job trying to make people happy with a lot of difficult orders. You have no idea what it's like dealing with customers that are tired, don't have caffeine, if they're hungry. Jalen does because you worked with me, Jalen.
Okay.
You worked with me at the Bucks. You know what it's like
I have a very good
dealing
idea
with
of
the
that.
people that don't have caffeine, that need it, and they're trying to order it. It can be difficult at times. But my team does an amazing job, and we are the holders of this trophy right now. And I take this trophy everywhere when I win it because my team does a damn good job. So yeah, fun times.
Does me deal with crackheads count close to the
No,
non-caffeinated?
it's actually no. Okay, well, actually, you know, it is like a 1A and 1B because if you're dealing with crackheads, people that need Starbucks, it's a stimulant. It's highly addictive. That's the only thing. It's the only way that I could rationalize people paying $8 for a Starbucks drink. You know,
Which is a
3
reasonable
times
price.
a day. In fact,
I try
you
to
know what?
advocate for this man at his job.
Hey, I'm just saying, being a crackhead might be cheaper.
Actually,
Drinking Starbucks.
It's a poor man's
times
drug,
a day.
so I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. So
Spend
I don't
that
know,
$8
but you know what?
And don't even finish the drink too. It's the best part.
People need their coffee, and I'm gonna serve it to them.
There you go. At the fastest speed in the state at that.
Damn right. And Shaq, hopefully you are not giving people crack. You're treating them or taking the crack. I hope
Absolutely.
that you're not a
treating
drug dealer.
I'm placing with legal narcotics.
All right, well,
Like
it's
give
time
and
for a
take.
shot again, gentlemen.
Yes.
Give and take.
This is the end of the line of that Buffalo Trace. I'm gonna have to go buy another bottle, but I got plenty of other bottles in the arsenal in case I don't get to it next week. So, cheers, gentlemen.
Two things. I had no idea that Andre Iguodala is still playing.
Wait, he's still playing?
He's still on the Warriors somehow.
Oh. That man is the less impressive version of Tom Brady, then.
Also,
Second thing.
If we were way back in the day, I feel like Malin would be peddling moonshine. I feel like if we were back,
Probably.
in times when the liquor was outlawed, you'd go to Malin.
Would
and
be.
get
Probably
some
peddling other
moonshine.
things.
Actually, I wouldn't be peddling moonshine. I would be running one of those speakeasy bars that you'd have to get into. That was like in the basement downstairs or something like that. That's what I'd be doing. I would have a
dynamics
speakeasy type of bar. Me in the 20s. Oh yeah, we'd have a bunch of people in
And that's the
tuxedos, suits.
That's the last thing I envision me in the 20s.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Apologize. Not a good look back in the 20s for everybody. I probably wouldn't have the majestic beard that I have now. But no, yeah. Let's kind of forget about the 20s. That wasn't actually a good time, man. Prohibition, Great Depression, racism, World War I. Damn near Hitler was gaining power in Germany. That's
Yeah.
kind of shitty.
Couldn't drink.
Good
But it was
lord.
in America. So anyway,
Jesus.
I'm back to the wonderful wild world of sports.
Yeah. Good lord.
Not the
Took us
dark-
down a dark road, Jalen.
Little
Jesus
history
Lord.
throwback there.
Let's go back.
Alternate history.
Let's go back to the 20s
It
in
may-
America.
Make me feel bad. I'm talking about how I would have owned an underground bar, and Shaq is looking at me like, "Yep, I'd probably, I don't know, be dealing with a racist." God
Yo,
bless America.
He's trying to think about how he's thriving
Terrible.
in the 20s. Kind of like, you know what? Thriving's not the word I would have used, but
that came back down to earth
Hey.
real quick.
Listen, Shaq, in the 20s, you still would have been thriving, my friend. Maybe not at sports booking. We'll get into that in the Ride or Die in 25, but you would have been thriving, my friend. You would have been doing good.
Crops for the-
Love you, man.
It's a plow.
Oh, okay. We need. Hello. Let's talk about sports at this point.
Okay.
Y'all think I'm trying to get us canceled? Jesus
We've been
Lord.
back for about 5-10 minutes, and I'm talking about everything but the world of sports.
All right, on with the news.
Today's top stories and breaking news.
All right, here we are with the news here for our sports podcast. Starting off with the fact that the NFL finally heard everybody's complaints and whining and moaning and decided, okay, we will change the overtime rules so that everybody gets a chance with the ball in the playoffs. This does not pertain to the regular season, but in the playoffs, overtime rules have been changed so that both teams will at least get the chance to touch the ball at least once. And from there, if both teams are still tied, then it goes into the normal, like what it is now, sudden death decides the outcome. What do you guys think about NFL changing the rules up a bit after all the hoopla between the Chiefs and the Bills in the playoffs last year?
I actually like it. I feel like it gives it a better shot, per se. Because they're looking at statistics.
Chat, I want to pause you real quick. I'm sorry. G Money in the chat says you guys need a better history lesson. The 20s were known as the Roaring 20s because World War II was over. World War I was over. The stock market was on fire and alcohol flowed freely.
And then the Great Depression happened, Gary. G Money. Everyone was in line for soup and bread.
Like Jesus.
Like, oh.
G Money's throwing me for a fucking loop right now.
Folks, if you wanted to know about sports, we got you. If you want to know about history, we got you. You're an all-based education system on this part of the internet.
They called it the Roaring 20s until they started calling it the Great Depression. And then everyone was in line for soup and bread and people were losing jobs. But yes, I do think the prohibition ended in 1918 or whatever. I do think it was either 1918 or 1922. So he is right about that. But damn it, G Money, like good guy. And that man's a Marine. He's smart as shit for being a Marine.
Yes, he gave you the
they
exact
eat crayons.
They give you the
All
exact
Marines, Marines eat crayons, and this man gave me a history lesson on the 20s
Yes,
and 30s.
and he gave the exact date of the
Great.
Great Depression.
Said that
Started.
was October 29, 1929.
Yeah, that was in the 20s.
Yeah, it still counts.
Just saying.
They ate crayons.
Do eat crayons. It's widely known.
Overtime.
Don't say that to a Marine when
I
you're
have
in
no idea
person.
what we're talking about. I think we were talking about NFL overtime.
Yes, yes. Yes. Shaq, what do you think about the overtime rules?
Instead of the 20s.
G Money just broke the show. That's what he did. He just broke the show. So, anyways, okay. So, Shaq, are you good to start talking? Are you done?
Yes.
Can you talk? Okay, go
Yeah.
for it.
Like I said, I like this rule. At least it gives both teams opportunities to like handle the ball and do something. Because we're looking at the stats, like 57 or 56% of the time that the team that got the ball first in overtime was winning this freaking game, because as long as you got some sort of
Right.
we give it a fair shot. And that's how we are for an entertaining game. Now, they got the coin toss. Let's go ahead and watch this team win this game here real quick. So it's entertaining.
Yeah, like you said, like more times than not, the team that did get the ball first end up winning the game. I think this was a pretty good way of them keeping it pretty. It doesn't really drastically change things. It at least gives the other team the other offense. Let me make this specific. The other offense gets a chance to not allow the game to end, because, like we said, when the Bills-Chiefs game first concluded, the defense does have a chance to keep the game alive. I just want to keep throwing that out there. Like, let's not act like there's no defense out there at all. It's just an offense that runs down the field and scores the ball. Your defense can keep the game alive, but even if that doesn't happen, it's cool that there is like that last chance that's still there for the opposite team to get the ball one last time and try and score a touchdown if that's the case. So I think it was cool, good way to keep the game alive in this kind of wacky event. But Malin, what did you think?
I don't know. I understand the need to come up with two different rule systems versus regular season and playoff, because normal overtime rules, the team that got the ball first won 51% of the time. Okay? In the playoffs, the team that gets the ball first wins 92% of the time. Okay? So I get it. I understand. But I still don't like there being two different sets of rules when it comes to regular season and playoff. They're just kind of all over the place. They lessened the amount of time from 15 minutes in overtime to 10 minutes in overtime, because they didn't want, player safety being an issue during the regular season. And that ended in, like more times in the regular season. Now you're changing this rule to where both offenses have a chance in the playoffs, and I understand it because Kansas City and Buffalo, that was a wild game. And, if Kansas City had made the Super Bowl, you could make an argument that Buffalo could have been there.
Right.
In fact, even with Kansas City losing to Cincinnati, you can make an argument that Buffalo could have beat Cincinnati. And neither defense was going to hold up in the playoffs. So, in my mind, I don't know. I just think they're making it too difficult. You got a bunch of owners sitting around in the room, and they're talking for hours and hours, for years and years, about the overtime rules. And I think that college football actually has a pretty good system. Now, in college football, they put it on a 25-yard line. I think NFL kickers are way too good to put it at the 25-yard line. So I would say put it at the 50-yard line. Both teams. One team starts at the 50-yard line. Goal, touchdown. Other team, 50-yard line. Score touchdown, score field goal. After that, if you score a touchdown, go 2-point conversion. Bam, done, over with. Let's go to break. All these owners are old as fuck. They got to go take a nap anyways. So you could have easily just come up with a system that would work for the regular season and the postseason. But no, we got to come up with different rules, because all of a sudden a playoff game is more important than a regular season game, even though a regular season game dictates whether or not you actually go to the playoffs or not. And so I don't know. It's just weird having two different types of rules.
Yeah,
regular season and postseason.
He's on the same page as you, saying, why doesn't the NFL just go the same way the NCAA does overtime? That would have been very interesting to see them just completely change it up, like entirely. As long as they did it, like you said, on both sides. It is, like, I have no issue with them making this change, but it is very strange that it only pertains to the playoffs and not the regular season. It's like, what is it really
It's-
hurting you doing that in the regular season?
It's easy to do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying the 25-yard line because, like I said, like NFL kickers are better than college kickers. Not guaranteed a field goal at 25 yards in college. Like, dear God, have you seen these people kick a football in college? But put it at 50. Make them work for it a little bit to even try to get a field goal. But what you have going on right now is, you have a bunch of scenarios in a regular season, which it's not okay. We know what the overtime rules are in the regular season, right? I at least know of 2 scenarios where the game is ended in a tie and the starting quarterback wasn't even aware of what the overtime rules are. They're like, wait, what? Like, there's a time, like, they don't even know. So make it simple. Start at the 50, start at the 40. I don't care. Score a touchdown or a field goal, and if you score a touchdown, you have to go for 2. But make it universal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think a playoff game should be more important than a regular season game because a regular season game dictates whether or not you even make it to the playoffs. So I don't like the fact that there's 2 different rules. That I don't like.
Moving on to the next piece of NFL news here. So Deshaun Watson made his move over to the Browns. Obviously had all of those criminal charges that he was able to snake his way right on out of, but he still has his civil cases still looming over him. However, like, he still could get suspended from just that. But Roger Goodell just recently said that the commissioner's exempt list is unlikely for Deshaun Watson as of right now, which is crazy. Like, if he were to go on that list, he would not be playing, but I believe he'd still be getting paid to just kind of sit in a waiting tank, basically, until stuff gets resolved. But that's not even seemingly coming down the pipeline. The NFL is investigating this situation, so we'll see what happens once some time passes here. But for Goodell to come out and say that, kind of gives you a hint of, damn, like, Deshaun may come out of this scot-free.
Yes. God bless. God
Well,
bless.
okay, so Shaq, if I can go first on this one.
Go ahead.
First of all, this man has gone through 2 grand juries at this point. And the first grand jury took, I think, 8 days, and they decided not to press press charges. The second grand jury took less than a day. They said, no, we're not pressing charges on the criminal counts. Okay. The commissioner's exempt list, I mean, some of the people that went on that list were someone like Ray Rice, where there was video evidence of him smacking the shit out of his wife, dragging her out of an elevator. Okay, that's pretty damning. In this case, when it comes to Deshaun Watson, it is he said, she said. And you got 22 plaintiffs, okay, with 1 lawyer, all right, which I still think is weird. And 2 grand juries failed to proceed with criminal charges. So I don't think that the NFL has any grounds to use that commissioner exempt list during the 2022 season. What I do think is interesting, though, is that when it comes to the civil suits, they're saying that, like, we're not going to start seeing trials and testimonies until February of next year with the way that it's playing out. So the funny thing about it is that if the civil trial doesn't play out until after next year, and let's say he pays some money, or like, let's say he's found guilty on the civil side, because there is a lot less evidence that needs to be presented to win civilly than criminally. Okay? And he could be found guilty on some of these civil suits. And again, it's he said, she said. Okay? If the NFL decides to suspend him, I don't I don't think they're going to do it till 2023 because they saw what he did with his contract. Saw it. They know that he's only making $1 million in 2022. They're going to let this ride the entire year. They're not going to mess with him in 2022. They're going to let him feel like everything's great and fine and dandy. Let him lose this civil case. Okay? The NFL is going to suspend him in 2023, and that's when he's actually going to lose quite a bit of money. The NFL's like, oh, you're cute, Deshaun. That's amazing how you did the whole $1 million for 2022. So if we suspend you, we're not going to get a whole lot of money. No, they're going to come for his money in 2023. So if he gets suspended, it's going to be after this next year when the civil suit concludes, because it's not going to be over before this year starts. It's not going to be over until after the season's over. So he could still end up losing a lot of money for this.
Yeah, it is kind of cool to see like the NFL pull kind of like a checkmate here, and like realistically, we won't really know what the outcome of this is until a year from now. So even after all of the, contract jujitsu that Deshaun Watson, his agent, did, it could still come back and still bite him in the ass. But I think for the general public speaking, for the people that are not us and keep up with the NFL in detail, the optics of Deshaun playing a full year of football in whatever the outcome may be, maybe, who knows, Cleveland wins the Super Bowl, who knows, him playing a full year of football and then it comes out that he gets suspended sometime next year. Do you think that the average person, like the general public, will have an issue with the NFL let him play even while all this was going on, and then they suspended him? This is just another example of the NFL screwing up again, and
no, I do not think so. And the reason why I think that, because the NFL has the trump card of letting the civil case play its hand. Okay? 2 grand juries failed to indict him on criminal charges. So unless the civil case concludes before the NFL season, what reason does the NFL have to suspend him?
None.
They have nothing. 2 grand juries, like, that's actually kind of damning to the civil suits.
Right.
That 2 grand juries are saying, no, there's not enough evidence to even go ahead with the trial criminally against this man. And so I'm never going to say that, the justice system is always right. I'm never going to say that a woman is ever making anything up. All I'm going to say is that you got 22 civil cases that are brought against Deshaun Watson that were all accumulated over a series of time after a couple happened. And they're all have the same lawyer, okay, which is very unusual. The man was not brought up on criminal charges against 2 grand juries. One, it took less than a day for them to come up to that conclusion. But no, the NFL should definitely let him play next year. And for all intents and purposes, everyone's saying the civil case isn't even really going to start until February of next year. So the NFL should not act unless the civil cases end. And then if they end, and then if he's found guilty, then maybe they can bring some judgment on that. But even at the end of the day, you don't have video evidence. It's all he said, she said. There's no eyewitnesses or anything like that going against this. So I think the NFL is actually in a pretty good place when it comes to Deshaun Watson letting him play next year.
I completely agree. I was like, until some final verdict comes out, the man still has all the right in the world to play. We've seen this multiple times in history, unfortunately, the amount of players that go on some sort of trials, have some sort of legal issues throughout the season, and still play. And my thing is, if they don't let him play, so we're not letting him play, still found innocent at the end of the process, kind of like,
Right.
What is the process? What happens to your money that you get for playing games and everything? Do we pay you for those games because you technically forced you to miss them, whether or not you're ready to play?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm saying is like we're forcing you to miss these games. You're found innocent, so it's kind of like, so what happens to the money that I could have gotten for the game?
100% agree, because if they suspend him
right
before this civil case is done, he has a lawsuit against the NFL for defamation of character. Because they're basically, if they suspend him, they're almost damn near admitting guilt on his part.
Yeah.
And listen, we live in the United States of America. Where in the justice system, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And so, in my mind, until some sort of court of law finds him guilty of anything, he's innocent. So he should be able to live his daily life and do what he does as an occupation, which is play professional football, until some other court decides that he's guilty, and then the NFL has a decision to make on what they need to do afterwards.
Yeah.
So the court of public opinion, all these keyboard warriors, all these social media justice people, sit down and shut up and just let the justice system work.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you guys. I just threw that out there because you guys know how people are, where people do not read or look into anything at all, and it's just the perception of something rather than the reality of the situation. So, anyway, moving on to the next thing here. Moving into the NBA, PG-13 made his return against the Jazz last night, put up 34 points to take down the Jazz in his first game back. He actually missed about 3 months due to his injury. He came back and dropped 34 and won the game for LA. So good to see him back. I know Clipper fans all over, all 6 of you guys are extremely happy to have him back and right back in the mix, baby. What do you guys think about the Clippers getting PG-13 back?
Happy for them to see them to a degree come back to the full ability. Of course, he's still missing another key part out of that equation. He probably never touch a basketball till some point next year.
Right.
And so it's kind of like it's just unfortunate to see another team riddled injury and to live in the what ifs of this season.
Yeah.
How big could this team be if they actually had a healthy team? Only person worse health record than AD this season, so it's kind of like, well, it's great to see him come back and still balling. So,
yeah, Malin.
I don't know. I think I love watching the show on FS1. Speak for yourself. And Marcus Wiley, he is such a big Clippers fan. And I love it. And he was even tweeting the other day. He was like, "Yeah, I told you there was only one good team in LA and yada yada." I think it's funny that people are repping the only Los Angeles team yet to win a title. I think that's kind of funny when it comes to the Clippers. At some point, they're still the Clippers. Paul George, I'm glad he came back. I'm glad he had a good game. He's probably going to get hurt again, either before the playoffs or during the playoffs. That's fine. Leonard's still hurt. He ain't coming. Listen, it don't take much to hurt Paul George, man. Don't. We call it PG-13, but it damn near might as well be rated R the way that motherfucker gets hurt sometimes. But listen, like they were down 25, down 18 going into the fourth, and they ended up winning by 6. So that was a good win, right? I will give them that. And that team, in and of themselves, I will say this, is that they are the opposite of the Lakers and a bunch of other teams, to where they have solidified themselves as a good team, much like Memphis, playing really great team ball. Your stars may be hurt, but you're still going to go out there and you're going to compete and you're going to win. And they've been known as kind of the comeback kings during this year because they've had multiple. I think it is 5 games this year where they've come back from down 20 points and won. In fact, they set the record. They had the second largest comeback, being down 35 points, okay, against Washington. Came back and won that game, and that was without Paul George. Okay? So that team does play really good team ball, and I root for Paul George. He had a horrific injury when he was with Indiana. That was just terrible to watch. And then he had to play with Westbrook. No one wants to play with Westbrook. And so he had to put up with that at Oklahoma. And then he goes to the Clippers, right? And then Kawhi gets injured all of a sudden, right? We say all of a sudden like he don't get injured every damn year except for the year he won the title with Toronto. So, I mean, Paul George just has some bad luck in his NBA career. So, I am really hoping that he stays healthy. And I hope that the Clippers make some noise in the playoffs. They've had a really good year without 2 of their best players.
Yeah.
I hope that with one of their best players, I hope he stays healthy. I don't know that he will, but I hope he does. And I hope they're gonna make some noise because this man deserves a break. Not in the negative sense when it comes to his basketball career.
Yeah, it really this has nothing to do with PG-13, but it just really disappoints me that Kawhi is not available this year. Because I really like the Clippers in the playoffs. Like these past few years, they've been such an interesting team in the playoffs.
If Kawhi Leonard was healthy and Paul George is healthy, they would be my favorites out of the West.
Okay.
They would.
Yeah.
Bar none. The way that team is played without those two,
right?
Put Leonard and Paul George in the lineup with them. They're better than Phoenix. They're better than Golden State. They're better than Utah. They're better than all those teams. But it's just the unfortunate consequence that Kawhi Leonard is pretty much always hurt, and Paul George has been hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like the year before where they got upset by Denver and that is absolute meltdown, and then them almost doing the same thing against Dallas, and then they came back and then they battled Utah, and that was such a great series last year. Like, man, the Clippers are such a great playoff team. They make everything very interesting. Really sad when Kawhi went out, and it's just crazy to think that it's almost been an entire calendar year since Kawhi went down with that weird injury against the Jazz. Like, it's crazy to think.
And again, if you're a Clippers fan, you're rooting for the only team in LA that's never won a chip. I feel bad for you. You deserve a good break. Saying, and I don't know. Should deserve better.
Right. All right. Last up on the news here. Robert Williams, the Time Lord, out 4 to 6 weeks with a torn meniscus. This was really, really unfortunate for our Celtics here to lose our anchor of the team here for a month to a month and a half. Yeah, he could come back in the possibly like the second round of the playoffs. If he comes back at all, hopefully we can get to that point.
Oh, he's coming back.
I like the confidence there. What do you guys think about the Celtics without Robert Williams? Malin, I'll go to you first.
Damn right, go to me first. Listen, Robert Williams is playing this game. They would have beat the brakes off the Heat, but that's beside the point tonight. No, and one of the main reasons is that Boston has been playing some of the best defense you've seen, not even this year, but like in the last decade. Yes. Like they've been playing like record-breaking type of defense, and Robert Williams is the only player to have 500 shots put up when he is the closest defender and holding them to 40% shooting. Okay? He's been playing lights out defensively. In fact, he's been, in my opinion, the best defender in the league this year. And the stats back it up. So losing him down the stretch, yes, that does suck because my Boston Celtics, your Boston Celtics, everyone's Boston Celtics, except Shaq's Boston Celtics, because he's a bandwagon Heat fan. They were number one in the East until they went down.
Who wasn't a
And
basketball fan of?
And then the Heat, the Heat snuck in the back door to take over the number one spot because our number one defender went down.
Dirty bastards.
And so, yeah, punk ass people with your little sociopathic jerseys.
You tell me who else is you a basketball fan of?
What?
Who else is you a basketball fan of, Millen?
You?
Yes.
I don't know. Aren't you from the Tampa area?
Since I was like 6, yes, but like, do you
Okay,
got a basketball team?
Then be an Orlando Magic fan.
I would rather drink bleach. And be an Orlando Magic fan.
Then die. That's all I got for you. Drink some Clorox and die. Everybody knows if you're a Miami Heat fan and you live outside of Miami, you're a bandwagon fan. That's all there is to it. You became a fan when Dwayne Wade was popular, or
sorry, that
LeBron James was losing the rest of his hair. You could have been an Orlando Magic fan. No.
Become a fan of Dwight Howard?
I don't know.
We're not doing that.
Not Dwight Howard. We're not talking about Dwight Howard. We're doing a Dwight Howard free show.
Can you imagine if I was an Orlando Magic fan and a Steelers fan in this era, how upset my life would be in the realm of sports? Exactly.
And you kind of deserve it. But no, you don't get to say that because you still won a couple Super Bowls since you've been alive with the Steelers. I'm just saying that if you're from the Tampa area and you're a Steelers fan and a Miami fan, you picked whatever team was winning. That makes you bandwagon. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, that happened. And if you want to know why I root for the Boston Celtics, there is a reason why I root for the Boston Celtics. You want to know why that is, Shaq? Go ahead, take a sip of your beer and ask me why.
Why?
Do it. Okay. So my Seattle Sonics got stolen from me. A dumb motherfucker named Clay Bennett with David Stern got moved to Oklahoma City. Now, who was the best player on the Sonics before they got shipped off? Ray Allen went to Boston. And when the Sonics were no more, Oklahoma City, wasn't going to be a Thunder fan. I went with the Celtics because Ray Allen was a Celtic, and they do got a lot of history. So I followed them because of Ray Allen.
So,
now, unlike you, I did not become a Heat fan when Ray Allen went to the Heat.
So
I stayed with the Celtics.
Here's my thing. I was born in New York. I moved here when I was 6. Am I supposed to be a Giants or Jets fan? No, because I have no memory of New York. I'm not gonna and God forbid I become a Jets or Giants fan. How depressing my life would be. Am I supposed to become a New York Knicks fan? God knows there's nothing good coming out of New York City.
Yeah,
coming
I don't
out
know.
For sports.
I've been down here in Tampa Bay for 20 years.
Me too.
Tampa sports. No, fuck all Florida sports. I don't give a shit who they are. Not rooting for none of them.
But
Like,
99%.
the whole state could be flooded, and I could die happy knowing that I never rooted for any Florida team.
Like I said, 95% of my memories are from Florida. So at least all of my teams are from Florida.
I'm just saying.
Take
I'm
that.
just saying. Pittsburgh and Miami, and you became a fan in the mid 2000s. As bandwagon all the fan. Like we're just gonna. Your new nickname is Drummer Boy because you the drummer boy for the bandwagon. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Heat. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. You picked the two winning teams in the mid 2000s. That's what you did. That's not my fault. That's your fault. You did it. You did this to yourself.
Okay.
You did this to yourself.
I would like to know from you guys. So,
Drummer Boy.
The hate. The hate.
What do you guys think about for teams that take like the Raiders, for example, the most recent team, where if you lived in Oakland and then they moved to Vegas, does that give the Oakland Raiders fans the chance to say, to hell with the Raiders, I'm going to pick a different team because they left the city of Oakland? Still the same team, but moved to a different city.
My mind, yes, 100% you do. 100%. If your team leaves you, okay, because the Raiders left to go to Las Vegas. The NFL didn't move them, right? The owner said, fuck Oakland, I'm going to Las Vegas. They have every right to do it. Now, most Raiders fans, they like misery. Okay? Since the 80s, they haven't won shit. So, but they're like, you know what? Everything in my closet is black and silver. I don't own anything red and gold or blue and yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and keep rooting for the Raiders. A lot of them do still root for the Raiders. But in my case, being a Seattle Sonics fan, and every major media reporter says it is a crime that the Sonics are not a team in the NBA. And if Seattle got an NBA team tomorrow, I would be a Seattle Sonics fan above everything else. Okay. I root for the Celtics because Ray Allen went there and because they do have a rich history, and I don't have an NBA home right now. I haven't since 2008. It sucked. I hate it. But if we get the Sonics back, I don't give a shit if they're terrible. I'm fucking rooting for them. Just like I root for the Seattle Kraken in hockey. Okay? We had a sorry-ass hockey team this first year. We didn't do nearly what the Las Vegas Knights did in the first year of the NHL. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are still doing great. And I'm still telling everyone in Tampa Bay, fuck the Lightning, okay? That's what I do. So no, I don't buy that for a second. And weighing, my boy Shaq. That's what I'm going with.
Found its way back to me. This topic has nothing to do with me, but like I said, I can understand you stay committed, Raiders fan, but at the same time, I can still understand saying fuck the Raiders, because at the end of the day, the Raiders kind of said fuck you. So
yeah, I think it also gives you the pass for the Raiders, the Rams, Chargers.
Well, the weird thing with the Raiders though is that they were the Oakland Raiders in the 70s. They moved to LA in the 80s. They won a Super Bowl in LA in the 80s, and they went back to Oakland and never won another Super Bowl. So they won 2 Super Bowls in Oakland, 1 in LA. So they pretty much kind of like owned California outside of San Francisco. And a lot of people were not Niners fans in the 80s and 90s outside of San Francisco, because it's just like with the Patriots and the Warriors and, other like dynasties, right? The Bulls, like if you're not a fan of them, we say in America that we love winners, but in reality, we get tired of winners really quick, and we start to hate the teams that do good all the time. So most of the people in California were not 49ers fans. That was really kind of exclusive to the Bay Area, the Bay Area, but the Raiders had a very large following in California because they were in LA for a decade. So them moving to Las Vegas was pretty wild. And so I can kind of understand some people still being Raiders fans. They can make that decision. I think most of the people that are Rams fans in LA, they're bandwagon fans, because no one really cared about the Rams when they were in LA back in the however it was until 96 when they went to St. Louis, and then they won the title in 99, and then they came back in 90, or I think like 2018 or whatever, to LA, No one still cared about until they won the Super Bowl, and I still don't think they care about them.
We will be doing this show for 20 years, and Mill will be still calling me a bandwagon fan for the next 20 years of cheering for this team.
Probably will happen.
I could be
Probably
cheering
will
for the Steelers
happen.
for the next 20 years, and I'm like still a bandwagon.
Probably. Oh, okay. First of all, you said you're from New York, and you put Pittsburgh and Miami. Just saying.
I feel like I don't need to justify my rationale.
You don't need to justify it. I'm just saying you're a New York man living in Florida, and you're a fan of Pittsburgh and Miami. You're not even from Pittsburgh. You've never lived in Miami. Yet those are your two favorite teams.
I've never lived in Orlando, and I'm not gonna sit here and cheer for Orlando match.
Okay. Just saying.
All right.
You've never lived in Pittsburgh or Miami yet. Those are your favorite teams. I'm just saying, Shaq.
All right.
Don't hate me. Hate the facts, not me.
America, you can decide on that one. G Money says, being a member of Raiders Nation is like being a member of a gang. Just because the gang moves, you still represent. Of course, most Raiders fans aren't very smart anyway, and probably still think the Raiders are still in Oakland.
It's true.
Well said.
It's true. I don't listen. Shaq, I'm not calling you dumb. I'm not saying you're dumb. Just want to put that out there. I don't think you're dumb.
Honestly,
I'm just saying that you decided to pick the winners, your favorite sports when you were young, and they were the Miami Heat and Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm sorry that I chose.
I'm saying.
I'm sorry that I chose teams I liked as a child and decided to stick with it through
No.
adulthood.
You chose teams that won.
I'm
That's
sorry.
what you chose.
All right. Yes, I agree with G Money. I haven't yet seen an Oakland Raiders fan that I think I couldn't win a verbal argument with. But at the same time,
Okay, first of all, no. You'll never meet an Oakland Raiders fan that you'll win an argument with because they'll stab your ass before the end
That's
of
what
the
I'm saying.
argument.
That's what I'm
okay?
saying,
So
is like-
you would lose. You would lose your life and the argument if you decided to
I
fight
would
with
win
a
the
Raiders
mental
fan.
game, but the physical game, Oakland fans will always
Yeah.
beat the shit out of you when they feel.
Your ass would be in triage.
They got nothing left to lose at that point in
Yeah.
time, so they will.
You may walk into that fight, but you leave in an ambulance if you're fucking around with a Raiders fan. They are some dirty people.
You literally ask them, "What is your criminal record for the last 10 years?"
And at this point, we found the people that I'm shitting on for the duration of this show.
It's all right.
Are
They
Raiders
got-
fans,
they
apparently.
they ain't got internet, so it's all right.
They're worse than Philly fans, I think. Like, Raiders fans are worse than Philly fans.
Really?
They're just
Philly fans got internet,
Yeah.
so it's all right.
Hey, okay. Here's the reason why I say that, Jalen. How many times do you hear about Philadelphia Eagles fans beating the shit out of opposing teams' fans during a game? You don't hear about that.
I hear about
You know what you do hear about? Raiders fans killing people
Well,
in parking lots outside of San Francisco Stadium, outside of Las Vegas.
It's not even a game going on.
Outside
They
of
kill people in the
LA.
parking lot.
They literally killed people.
Fuck you get here.
Philly fans will throw snowballs at Santa. Raiders fans will shank your ass. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. Raiders fans are terrible.
Yeah, those Philly fans, they also fall out of the stands trying to touch Jalen Hurts, so keep that in mind.
Some godforsaken reason.
Yeah, they might throw snowballs at Jalen Hurts too. These are
All right.
those are the same people that want Nick Foles to be the quarterback still. You know,
They
whatever.
probably still would take
Eagles
him back.
fans aren't smart either.
Oh God, no, they ain't smart.
I mean, I will say this, Shaq. I do think you picked the bet. If you're going to be a fan of a Pennsylvania team, I do think you picked the better franchise. You've never even been to Pennsylvania, so the fact that you're a Steelers fan is kind of weird to me. But you know, whatever.
I'd like for us not to target me for one episode. Can we go 1 week without targeting me just for no reason at all.
First of all,
I made fun of myself this week saying that I plowed crops to my forehead, and then you still continue to attack me for the rest of the show.
I haven't even made a forehead joke. There have been 0 forehead jokes. Now that you say it, though, your ass probably with that forehead could plow some fucking crops in record time. Just clear out the whole fucking field like 40 steps. No, like you would with your forehead would plow a field like Superman spacecraft splashing into the goddamn cornfield. When he was a little baby. You just goddamn space. That would be your fucking head, man. You would just plow through the whole fucking thing. Like, well, guys, I shucked all the corn.
Malin was on
My
the
goddamn head.
same wavelength that I was on. I was like I can see Shaq in a fucking cornfield.
So, folks,
chucking
that's the
some
next
shit.
TikTok video. My face somehow planted on the front of both.
Show. Hey, listen, I'm just saying we've done enough of the space jokes. We haven't really dived into what your forehead could do for humanity here on Earth. You could really make a difference.
What happens if it crash landed here?
Fuck Westbrook. My forehead's a true humanitarian.
You could make a difference.
He plowing
Ethanol and everything.
He building houses. I'm plowing fields for the needy. So, all right.
Well, last week we had it helping the Ukraine forces by holding back the Russian tanks. So you were doing
Do that too. You are pretty much the Man of Steel at this point. You are. You could leap buildings. I believe it, Shaq. And if you missed a building, you still got your forehead to fall in on. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
All right, I retransitioned to what's up with that?
Still a show here.
Oh God knows we've been off topic more than we've been on topic of the show.
What's up with that for this week? I will let me just kick this off real quick. I am highly upset with my own team right now. By my own team, I mean the New England Patriots. I came to this odd realization once this news came out. We don't even have an actual offensive coordinator right now. What the hell? Speaking of the Raiders, we lost our old one to the Raiders. He's now the head coach over there. And now we have, for whatever reason, Matt Patricia and Joe Judge back on our staff. And they're going to be coordinating the offense together somehow, or maybe throw Bill Belichick in the mix and it'll be a Three Stooges trying to somehow make an offense work. It is 2022, and we have not woken up to the fact that you need a creative, fast offense. And here we are with Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. I don't care about trust Bill. No, this is fucking stupid. Why do we have Joe Judge and Matt Patricia back to run our offense? This does not make any sense. This is fucking stupid. We need to hire somebody who knows what they're doing.
First of all, you don't get to be mad about your offense right now, okay? Because I still got Pete Carroll running the ship with Seattle, driving out every good offensive coordinator, and we lost my goddamn best quarterback, Hall of Fame person. I own 3 of his jerseys, pissing me off. So you're trying to make me mad right now, Jalen. But I could imagine an offensive set where Mac Jones goes into the shotgun and a wide receiver starts running across the field and he lays down a fucking slip and slide. And then he calls Hut and Mac Jones runs into a slip and slide for 7 yards. That could be offensive quarterback sneak I could see for the Patriots. Because Mac Jones Judge is known for slip and slides.
On a 4th and 20.
No, I actually do think that that's actually kind of crazy. Judge, who was terrible, is Giants head coach. Fisher, who is terrible, is the Lions head coach. You lost Josh McDaniels. You don't have an offensive coordinator. You have a second-year quarterback with, I still don't know the name of any wide receiver or running back you have on the roster outside of Sony Michel. Sony Michel is the only offensive weapon I know of that you have on your roster. So Belichick better be making voodoo dolls out of people and stabbing the shit out of them if that's what they're wanting to do without an offensive coordinator. That's just kind of wild to me. Like, how do they really don't have an offensive coordinator?
Nope. No,
Do they have a quarterbacks coach?
Shit, if I know at
Got a
this
QB
point.
coach. They got on the offensive. They probably got Tom Cable up there as an offensive line coach who's gonna start calling plays. That's what's gonna happen with the Patriots. Holy shit! Some junk. That is some what's up with that.
So prayers. Let's hope that something happens there, but probably not. Shaq, what's your what's up with that?
My only what's up with that. We talked about them earlier about how me and me were hyping them up. Can we stop talking about the Lakers? They are no longer like a thought process at this point in time in the season. We don't care anymore. For the past 2 months, we have been watching Lakers game purely not for anything other than comedic value out of that process. It is depressing but funny at the same time. It's funny to watch Westbrook go out there act a fool, watch Street Clothes Davis out there trying to watching the game. At the same time, it's depressing because you get to watch LeBron throw out 40 points or like double digits assist and still lose the game. It's kind of like, where else does that happen other than LeBron, where he can score like 40 something points in the game, 12 assists, and
still
get blown? Not even just lose, get blown out.
Get blown the fuck out.
Which is depressing. You got a man born in the Roaring 20s. Out there playing basketball, literally guiding his team.
Roaring 20s.
Yeah, this guy's man born in the Roaring 20s, guiding your team, putting in the most amount of work. You can see the stress in this man's eyes every time you sit down on the side, just looking at his team like, why am I here?
The other depressing part is, honestly, the post-game interviews are getting pretty depressing. It's like,
yes,
man.
we sit here, we talk about, Davis is supposed to be the workhorse of the team. Davis is supposed to be this. This man barely even touches the court. It's kind of like, what? What are you doing? Now we got the man who's supposed to be just a facilitator and assisting this man now being the workhorse and the facilitator. And Westbrook is just out there doing his own thing, being the true head clown of the process. And it's just very upsetting to watch. Stop talking about that. We don't care.
I will say this. I do think that, Shaq is being politically appropriate by calling him Street Clothes Davis, because I don't think we can call him Unibrow Davis anymore. Because I kind of feel if I call him Unibrow Davis, Will Smith's going to jump up here and smack the shit out of me.
It's a condition.
Of everybody. Because apparently you can't talk about the way anybody looks anymore, because someone's going to walk up and just smack the shit out of you in front of national everybody.
I'm just waiting for somebody to
So that's kind of crazy.
slap the shit out of you for just.
Yeah, so Street Clothes Davis. Ain't no one smacking people for what they wear. They're only smacking people for what you look like. So, Street Clothes Davis is the way we need to go. Hey, listen, I will say this. Will Smith may smack the shit out of Chris Rock, but that man's making money. Because on his comedy tour, his tickets were $41. Now they're selling for $368 for the rest of his tour. That man's making bank off getting to smack shit out of getting just fucking browbeat. That's funny. So my what's up with that? I got two of them. I'm gonna go ahead and go with one, and I'm gonna let you go, Jill, and I'm gonna do my other, okay? Because I know you got two too.
Right.
So there was a spring training game because everyone knows that Major League Baseball starts next week, right? So the Washington Nationals playing the spring training game. St. Louis Cardinals. They lost 29-8 in a spring training game. 29-8. Two pitchers gave up 10+ runs in this spring training game. They lost 29-8. And when the Washington Nationals manager was asked what happened, his response was, things got a little out of hand. You think? Like, I mean, throw the white flag. Be Rocco getting his ass beat by Drago in Rocky 5. Throw the fucking towel. Throw it. Wave the white flag. Be the Japanese on a carrier signing a treaty because you nuked our ass 2 times in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Like, just fucking end it. 29-8 is not supposed to be a baseball score. They should be embarrassed. So that is my first what's up with that. Jalen, I know you have another, and then I got one more.
Yes. My second what's up with that half has to do with sports. So this past Saturday, we were all supposed to meet up as a AFR community and have some fellowship.
All
right.
All right.
And have some good brotherly fellowship over some steak, some bourbon, some cigars, and watching the Miami Heat get their taking
Dicks
a nice
kick in.
gentleman L to the Brooklyn Nets.
Dicks kick in.
However, one of us was not in attendance. What is up with that?
Can I just discuss once again? We are coming after me in the process of whatever's going on in their life. Can we have a show that we know?
America, I'm just stating the facts. This is what happened.
All right.
There was
America.
fellowship on Saturday, and 2 of us were there.
Okay.
And Chuck
There's
was not.
nothing but a
I'm just
hate
saying.
crime. Hate crime.
It's funny. It's funny, Jalen. That is your second what's up with that. Because my second what's up with that is the fact that, I thought as a crew, we were getting together on Saturday.
All right.
And we were going to have some steaks, some bourbon, bought 4 filet mignons. I cooked them to perfection, gentlemen.
Amen.
We shared cigars, bourbon, and again, somebody else was there because he said that he had family out of town, yet he was still watching the game as the Heat were getting their ass beat by Brooklyn because he was commenting in the group chat, even though we were all supposed to be together having some fun.
And
2 of us were there. I'm just saying.
I would like to say they just made hanging a federal hate crime, and here we are hanging me out to dry on this wonderful stream, and just why? Why?
I'm not trying to hang you out to dry. I'll dry in your ass too. You can be wet while I hang you. I don't give a shit. I cooked filet mignons.
Sounded awful.
I was pouring shots
statement.
out of 20. I was pouring
Bad
shots out of $200 bottles of bourbon. I was giving out great cigars. We were all having a good time. And
shout out to Juan, because Juan was there and we had a great time.
Yeah. Juan was there. Juan was my assistant store manager. He's now an assistant store manager at another store. He's a really great friend of mine. Him and I play video games together. Him and I work together. He got to take part in the spoils that, Shaq decided, you know what, I'm too good for.
So I've always looked for a reason why people should hate this show and not watch it, and I found this reason. Here we are, no longer even talking about sports. We're just talking about why we hate Shaquille.
Oh, no one hates you.
I have not.
My feelings were just hurt. My feelings were just hurt.
I've not progressed to
You
a
didn't
guest
show
star.
up.
I am not a guest star in all 78 episodes of this show.
Shaq, nobody's hating on you. We're just saying what happened. That's all we're doing.
I'm just saying what happened. I'm just saying, man.
Y'all
I literally
what's up with that category.
Well, I didn't know that was his second what's up with that.
I
He just
feel
told
like
me
there's
he
a lot
had
of
to.
coincidences
I didn't know that
were
was.
We're just like, oh, that's yours. That's mine. That's Coincidentally, man's been lining it up since at the beginning of the What's Up with
I
That. Like, I
did.
know you got 2, Jalen. I got 2.
Okay. To be fair, Shaq, I told Jalen what my 2 What's Up with That's were. He told me he had 2, but he didn't tell me what his second one was. He
Right.
only told me what his first one was, okay? He did not tell me, so I'm not trying to like double shit on the situation.
That's exactly
I'm
what you
just
are.
saying that I'm sitting out on a porch in a fire pit next to a grill where I cooked a bunch of filet mignons, and we were supposed to be sitting together as a fam and as a crew.
Right by
And
that
you weren't
very
here, and that kind of
grill.
hurt my feelings a little
All
bit.
I'm saying is that
My feelings a little bit.
We just discussed me having a forehead built to plow crops. There's some sort of brain going on
No.
behind it.
There's
some sort of like hate going on.
You
Okay,
were
well,
the
first of all,
origin of that idea.
But
if your
y'all
if
heavily
your
agree
forehead
upon it.
if your forehead is that big to plow crops, then your brain should be big enough to know you should have been here to eat a filet mignon. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry that we did
That's all I'm
not
saying.
tell
That's all
Shaquille
I'm
Brown
saying.
up until 2 days before we were supposed to do this. But by the way, that we
No.
were supposed to be out there.
Nope.
That is not true.
No,
I did not know about
Nope.
this up
No,
until
sir.
Wednesday
You
of the
knew
show
on
before
Wednesday.
the Saturday.
That's not 2 days.
3. I'm
Out,
sorry. I'm
Out.
sorry. For the extra 24 hours that I wasn't
Wednesday,
informed.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 4 days.
No, it was more than that because it goes back before that.
I don't recall any sort of warning up until Wednesday of the
All
show. I'm starting to feel like this is 1920s and I'm getting treated like it. Treated like it.
And Shaq's response on Wednesday was, "I'll be there. I love steak." That's his response. And then he said on Saturday he wouldn't be there. So damn the time, sir.
I thought I was
Damn
going
the
to finesse
time.
my way back into out of the
you can't finesse your way out of nothing, sir. You said you'd be here and you weren't. My wife spent money on steaks. You offended my wife. That's what you did. You offended my wife.
This is where we're on this show. This man's talking about me offending his wife as he comes on every week. Fuck the Bucks. As his wife is the most dedicated Bucks fan ever. Every week this man comes on with fuck the Bucks.
All right, you got me there. But still, fuck Tampa Bay. Fuck Tampa Bay. But there is a difference between a wife's fandom and a wife's cooking. There's a difference. And you offended the latter, my man. So the next time I invite you over, you damn well better be here. You're gonna get the same goddamn roasting. And the roasting you're getting is not as good as the roasting in what I did with steaks
Can
on
we
the grill.
all agree
'Cause
upon? Can y'all
we'll
admit
burn
that
the
this
shit
was
out
a
of
very
your
much
ass.
planned event that we're gonna roast the fuck out of Shaq for not showing up?
It actually wasn't.
Stop
It actually wasn't. He did not. He
Stop
did.
it.
He
This
did
is
not. He
scripted.
did not tell me.
Scripted.
He did not
I
tell
like to
me
say
that was
Jalen
his
and
what's
Mel
up
have
with
some
that.
sort of their own group chat going on, saying, "Man, give this man a hard time at the show. We're gonna spend about 45 minutes talking about how Shaq didn't show up to his cooking going on."
Hey, listen. At the end of the day, you're the one that missed out. You were hanging out with family that you don't want to hang out with, watching your Heat lose. That's on you.
I'm sorry.
What did you?
We ate good
I
steak.
can't even remember. I'm not saying y'all didn't have a better time than I did. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying out of obligations, I don't hear about it later from my own bloodline that I had to show up. I'm sorry. Things are going on. I have to suffer.
Shaq, is your bloodline from Pittsburgh and Miami?
My bloodline is not even from this country. I'm gonna need you to
Hey,
leave
shut
me
the
alone.
fuck up. No, they're not. They're not from Pittsburgh and Miami. Shut the fuck up.
My
All right, we're
family
going in.
is from an
The
island.
Ride or Die in 5. Ride or Die in 5. Do it.
This show is absolute cancer.
As a
Don't let
first,
anybody tell you otherwise.
first gen American, I feel like I got the right to pick whatever the fuck I want. It's a professional sports team.
Now we're back in the 20s again. El Asylum.
You get to be judged on your freedom of speech, Shaq. That's America too.
Apparently, I'm being judged off of family and skin color going on in this generation.
No, sir. Not skin color. Nope. Don't put that on me, Shaq. You're getting
would just
judged
like
on not
that.
wanting to perfectly cook filet mignon. That's all you're getting judged on, and having great bourbon and cigar.
Bro, there's no judgment.
That's the only
here.
thing you're getting judged on.
This is just.
But don't put that on
showing
me.
What happened?
All
That's
right.
That's
Was
all
there
we're-
was there a necessary need to put that out there? No, there wasn't. But Both of them decided.
Yes,
that
there
they
was
needed- no.
because my wife bought steak
Stop
and she
trying to bring your
expected
wife
you to
into
be
this
here.
situation.
Hurt my wife's feelings.
With your Will Smith mentality, I'm gonna need you to start bringing
hurt
your
her
wife
feelings.
into this situation.
Well, I'm a bigger man than Will Smith because I'm not going to smack the shit out of you because that's a big ass forehead. You're not going to do anything anyways. So I'll smack you and break my own fucking hand. So we ain't doing that. Let's get into the Ride or Die in 5.
Jalen has his headset off over there dying. So again.
No. Why is it that every goddamn show I break one of you people? Like, can we not stay on topic? One goddamn episode.
You've been nothing but off topic this whole entire episode. You've covered like history in this thing, how to take care of crops.
Well, we know how to take care of crops. Just let your ass land on it with your forehead. All right, Jalen, Ride or Die in 5. Let's go.
Okay.
Shaq's forehead out there shucking corn.
Right.
Let's go.
Ride or Die in 25 this week, folks. Let us update you on where we are. All right? This is also not planned. These are just the numbers. This is what happened. Nobody's
These are
picking on
facts.
Shaq.
Facts.
Malin is 56-34. He was 5-0 last week. He is, I believe, plus 22 right now.
Damn right I am.
I am 73-58. I was also 5-0 last week, plus 15. Shaq 63-68, 2-3 last week, minus 5. So this is where we are, folks. These are just the numbers.
I would like to point out that over the last 2 weeks, Jalen and I are 18-2, which our 2 losses over the last 2 weeks equal the amount of wins that Shaq had last week. I'm just saying.
That
Just
part
saying.
of it. That part of it was targeting. That part.
That was targeting. That was. That was.
all here.
Pew!
That's ESPN. The ESPN unnecessary facts
was-
that we just kind of throw out there.
That was a shot across the bow. Don't even. I have only been okay. I'm just saying. I think I have what? Do I have 30 losses?
Right, 34
I do.
losses.
Yeah, I have 34 losses. Shaq has 68 losses. I'm only 7 wins behind him since I started on this thing. You damn right I'm coming for you, Shaq. I'm on fire lately, people.
Literally,
fire.
if you doubled Malin's losses, you'd have.
Literally, man's like off of Shaq's head, but literally doesn't know that's all of us are suffering. My head falls off my shoulders. That
I'm just saying.
impact gonna make all of us suffer. It's all right. It's okay.
Thought I was doing bad in the NBA picks. I'm on fire, people. All right, I am 9-1 in my last 10, and I am gunning for Shaq, and that's a big fucking target that I'm looking at with that goddamn forehead. So I'm coming for you, man. Pass you.
By the time you go
These
to
wins
Vegas,
eventually.
you could have as many wins as Shaq does.
I probably won't have as many, but I'm just saying, let me stay within 10 wins the NFL season to start, and I'm going to lap your ass once the NFL season starts, because that's where I make my money in the NFL. That's where I make my money. Coming.
We do predict games
Happening.
in this segment, and that's what we're going to do.
We just don't talk shit on the show. That's not what we do.
For the last half hour.
Exactly. Against one person. I even just talk shit amongst the group. It's just one. We're just throwing rocks at one person here.
I mean, two of us are 18-2. The other one is, I don't know, like 2-10 or something. I don't know.
As this man continues the trend of. Look, I know we're trying to transition off of targeting, but this man is off the trap.
I'm like the Cincinnati Bengals linebacker Burfict just laying the fuck out of Antonio Brown, and Shaq's Antonio Brown. He just wow, laying you out. I'm doing.
All right. First game this week, we have the Bucks at the Nets. This is tomorrow night, 7:30. I will go first here. Give me the Bucks to win this one. They kind of have been a little up and down recently, but they put up quite a performance, especially Giannis put up quite a performance, dropping 40 against the Sixers the other night. So I think they can continue that going into Brooklyn. The Nets have been pretty bad at home this year. I know Kyrie will now be eligible to play now at home, but I don't think it'll make too much of a difference in this case. Give me the Bucks at home. Shaq, who you got winning this one?
I'm also gonna choose the Bucks.
Well,
nothing better than look, it's the Greek Freak. Okay, you gotta watch this man go out there and ball. He's gonna do his thing, and unfortunately, I don't think the Nets is gonna be close, but I don't think they're gonna put out towards the end of it, and they're gonna win this game. So,
Malin?
I mean, both teams are 4-7 out of their last 9 out of their last 11 games. Okay, so they're playing like similar ball, but Greek just dropped 40 on Philly. Okay, and Brooklyn, all the offensive output that they're getting out of Durant and what they're getting out of Kyrie, still not winning games. So I'm gonna go with Milwaukee also on this one. I refuse to call them the Bucks because that sounds like a nod to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I hate the Bucks. I'm gonna go with Milwaukee on that one.
Next up on Friday, Suns at the Grizzlies. This is gonna be a game. Shaq, who do you have winning this one?
I'm gonna say the Grizzlies win this game. I'm still confident that team's such a powerhouse of a team right now. They're on one, they feel themselves, so I'm gonna go with them.
Malin?
I'm going Phoenix on this one. Talking about number 1 versus number 2 in the West. Only difference is that Phoenix has Chris Paul back. He's been playing good. Booker scored 49 versus Denver and 35 versus Philly in his last 2 games. And I know that Memphis still is not going to have Morant, and I know they've been playing great team ball without him. But I would like to think that the number 1 team on the West, with Paul being back and Booker still going off, is going to win this game.
Malin, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. If there is a team that can put a little halt on the Grizzlies' momentum, I feel like it's the Suns right now. Chris Paul is back. He's looking excellent. The Suns just seem like the type of team where they don't mess around. And even though it's still during the regular season, they know that the Grizzlies are right there on their heels, and they want to probably put everybody on notice. Like, we're still the Western Conference champs, and we plan on keeping it that way. So let's take care of our business. Regular season, postseason, doesn't matter. We're going to beat these guys. And it should be a great game nonetheless, but I think that the Suns will end up winning this by 6-7 points. So I will take the Suns on the road on that one. Next up, we have the Heat at the Bulls, Saturday at 8 o'clock. Malin, who do you have winning this one?
Listen. All teams have not been necessarily playing well. Okay. Miami's lost 4-6, but they've won 2 in a row. Okay. They just beat our Celtics. Which is that makes me mad. Props to you, Shaq, on that win. Okay.
I'm trying to figure it now.
Wait, what? What did you just say? Did you say, Shaq?
I said, don't try to fake it now. Give me props.
I'm not faking it. Listen, you beat the Celtics. Props to you guys. Okay. So you lost 4-6, but you won 2 in a row. Okay. Chicago's lost 6 out of 9. All right. Now Miami did lose to Brooklyn. With now I butcher everyone's name in the NBA, so I apologize. I don't know how to say people, but Adebayo, is that his name? Adebayo? Yeah. Adebayo. Did I say that right? Okay. So when they lost to Brooklyn, that man led the team in scoring with 14 points. That was kind of embarrassing. But he put a couple good wins in front of him. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Miami. This one. I think Miami's going to beat Chicago. I know that DeRozan has kind of gone off the last couple games, 37 against the Knicks. I know he scored 32 against Washington, but they're still losing games. They are not the same team that they were 2 months ago, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Miami on this one.
I'm going to go with the Bulls on this one. I hate to disagree on Malin, but we will have to do one in this case. For the same kind of reason there, like DeRozan's been on fire. And the Heat, they've been sliding recently, like the past week or so. Yes, they did just beat the Kings and the Celtics. But it was the Kings, and it was the Time Lord-less Celtics. So I just want to throw that out there. I think that the Chicago Bulls will end up winning this at home by hook or by crook. I think it'll be a close game, and the Bulls will pull this one out.
I'm going to go up my Miami Heat and say they win this game, feeling themselves, trying to get this last bit of stretch of games through, trying to hopefully keep their spot where they are and just win these games that they need to win. So I'm going to say my Heat.
All right. Next, we have the Jazz and the Warriors. This one is Saturday night at 8:30. This one was kind of a tough one. Both of these teams are just very strange right now at this point in the season. So I'm just gonna go with the home team on this. Give me the Warriors at home to end up beating the Jazz. Even with Curry out, the Warriors have been able to play okay while Curry is gone. So the Jazz, they have just been just as kind of strange as the Warriors have been in this stretch here. So give me the Warriors at home to win this game. Right now, the Warriors are giving the Suns a run for their money. So the Warriors can still hang with just about anybody. Just a matter of will they win the game? I say yes. So, Shaq.
I could say the Jazz win this game. Like you said, both teams have been struggling, especially watching Golden State struggle. Yes, to make every game competitive, but dropping games they shouldn't be dropping. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Jazz win this game.
Malin?
I mean, this is one of those games, Jalen, where I'm like, why the hell do you make me this type of game? Golden State's lost 6 out of 7. Utah's lost 5 in a row. We're basically trying to pick like who is the worst loser at this point. Neither team's been playing good. In fact, Jordan Poole has led Golden State in points 6 out of the last 7 games. That makes me nervous. Jordan Poole. You want to know why? I don't know who the fuck Jordan Poole is, but he has led the team in scoring 6 out of 7 games. We're talking about a team that has Green, Thompson. They got Curry on there who's not playing right now. I understand that. But 6 out of 7 games, Poole's been leading in points, and they've lost damn near all of them. But with it being in Golden State and Utah dropping 5 in a row, I'm going to go with Golden State. I know that Curry's still not playing, but I do think that Klay Thompson's going to come up a little bit bigger. Jordan Poole is going to keep balling because he's been balling. And I think Golden State is going to win this game.
Nice. In the last game here, we have the Sixers at the Cavs Sunday at 6 o'clock. I was highly debating putting on the primetime game, which was the Nuggets and the Lakers. I'm so tired of having the Lakers in this segment. We can all probably guess who's winning that one. Yes. So I decided to put a little more of a compelling not rivalry, but matchup here. Sixers, Cavs. Shaq, who do you think wins this one?
I'm taking Sixers to win this game. We just hyped up a certain individual, being good, putting them know he's doing things.
Right.
I think it can pull through for them on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and say Sixers.
Malin?
I'm going Sixers too. Both teams have gone 3-6 out of the last 9. Neither team is necessarily playing good, and Mobley's out that game. They're saying he's going to miss the next 3 games, so he should be Mobley should be out of that game. And I do think that with the offensive firepower of Embiid, who we all think is going to win the MVP, and Harden, I do think Philly is going to take care of business in Cleveland and win this game.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you guys. I think the Sixers will end up winning this one on the road. I wanted to pick the Cavs here, but at this point in the season, it's just hard for me to say that Joel Embiid will end up losing to Cleveland. Like, some way, somehow, I feel like he will make sure that his team pulls off a win. Even the Cavs have played pretty solid right now. They, like you just said, mainly have been playing not so great as of lately. Yeah, I think the Sixers will take care of their business on the road and beat the Cavs.
And I think that Embiid is going to play out of his mind the rest of this regular season because he wants that MVP. Right. So, and I think he'll play better than he has during the games and maybe wish they lost, even though he's been playing good. But I think he's going to play lights out in this one. And Cleveland is not going to be 100%. So I think we're all right on that one.
And that will do it, folks. We are coming up on our also familiar 2.5 minute mark. I'm for sure about 30 minutes of that mark was spent on nothing to do with sports. But that's why you watch this show, folks. That's the shenanigans that happen here. Anything else you guys want to mention before we wrap up?
Hashtag stop Shaq slander. I'm sure this is not the first time I've said this on this show, but I will continue to repeat it for 78 weeks straight. I mean, but it's all right. Love this show. That's what you gotta come here for, to watch the personalities and everything clash. It's really good.
All right, well, I'll just say, hashtag show up for filet mignon and be with your boys.
Saturday.
Show up to something we all agreed that we we're gonna show up to. That's fine. We're family, right? I might be the redhead stepchild of the group, but we're all family. The last thing that I would like to mention that wasn't in our notes is I love the fact that Jim Irsay today went on and was talking shit about Carson Wentz and talking, bad about Jacksonville and those places, but, really talking about how they really needed to move on from Carson Wentz because he knew that was a really bad fit. But then they went out and got Matt Ryan, who's older, not much better. I think it's kind of funny how you trade draft picks for someone like Carson Wentz, and then you get rid of him for a couple third rounders, and you trade more draft picks for Matt Ryan, who's older and hasn't done any better than Carson Wentz. So I think that's funny. So Jim Irsay, he's probably on drugs again. Probably. I'm just going to say it. He's doing drugs again because he's crazy. He's good for a press conference because he's fucking nuts. So that's my guy right there, Jim Irsay.
The Colts are such a, I won't say drugs, I'll say such an emotional-led team where it's just so knee-jerk and just here today, gone tomorrow, fuck him, fuck her, like, they just, oh man, what a interesting franchise the Colts are.
It is crazy how Peyton Manning brought them so much stability for so many years.
Jesus Christ.
It really is. I mean, Jim Irsay is just crazy. I don't know. Andrew Luck retired because of the front office of the Colts. I'm just saying. Andrew Luck, who was a generational quarterback, like Russell Wilson, is the best quarterback out of the 2012 draft. Okay, y'all know that, right? That's partly because the Colts were so inept as a franchise with Andrew Luck. They could not put the pieces together around him to make him a generational talent, because he was a generational talent.
Yeah.
So, and they've been kind of squandering ever since then. I mean, hell, they brought in Phillip Rivers. That didn't work out. They brought in Carson Wentz. That didn't work out. Now they're bringing in Matt Ryan.
Something
Shit.
tells me that
Anyone
won't
else?
work out.
Yeah. Anyone else reading the tea leaves on this one?
Might not be that.
Insane.
Every single year since Luck retired, it makes more and more sense as to why he retired from that team in particular.
I mean, have you ever known someone with a more famous neckbeard than Andrew Luck?
If anything, the first thing you envision
That's
when you
great.
hear Andrew Luck is
I'm just saying, if Andrew Luck went to another team besides the Colts, we would be talking right now about a possible multiple Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
And going into the Hall of Fame. He quit in the game of football because of the organization he was playing for. He gave up hundreds of $millions. He thought that, you know what? Hundreds of $millions is not worth playing the Indianapolis Colts. So, let that sink in.
No, that is toxic.
Peace.
All right, folks. We are going to get up out of here. We want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And until next week,
peace. I'll enjoy your week.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace. Love you guys.